Okay, good afternoon everyone and welcome to this media conference with Anthony Gordon from Blankenheim. As ever, if we can keep it to a minimum of 3 questions per person so we can get around as many of you as possible. And at the end we'll have a short embargoed section till 10:30 p.m. UK time this evening. I think when we're ready, Carver, do you want to get started?
Anthony, first of all, you look like you've got some nasty grazes on your face and also your hands and legs. What happened, and will this affect how you play at all?
So we went on what was meant to be a recovery bike ride. It was a lovely day and I was going down a hill. I tried to take a quick video for my family, just to show them what I was doing. And then before I knew it, I was face first into the floor. I've got a few grazes, yeah, but it's not only a few cuts. It's not anything painful.
Was it not a case that you used the wrong brake or you pressed the turbo button or something?
Yeah, so the electrics are obviously a lot faster than normal bikes. And in England, the front brake is on the right-hand side. So here, I tried to press the left just to slow, and then next minute, it's not slowed down, it's fully come to a stop. And I haven't, I've gone 10 feet in the air, chin first.
And what happened next? Did you have to go and see the medical team, or what was the reaction from the rest of the squad?
I just carried on. I just finished the bike ride, and then when I got back to the camp, obviously I had to put the stuff on it, which absolutely stung. That was the worst bit. But to be fair, no one seen me, thankfully, and I definitely didn't press record. So there's some positives to come from it.
Are you going to get back on the bike again, or are you trying to find some new hobbies?
No, I'll get back on. I won't let that bother me. It was lovely. It was a lovely day. I ruined it for myself.
Right, let's turn to football now. There's been lots of debate about the starting 11 for England games. A lot of people think that you should start. If you did start, or when you play for England, what do you think you bring to the side? What qualities? I
think my main strengths are I'm very direct. I'm obviously quick. So I know I'm a nightmare for anyone that I play against. And I'm positive, every time I get the ball, I always try and make something happen. I'm not a very safe player. I'm always going for it. I'm always trying to put people on the back foot. I think with the players we've got, the likes of H, who like to drop deep, I think I add sort of a different element to the team.
And do you feel that there are places in the team up for grabs? Or do you think the manager's got a set idea of what his starting 11 is, and he'll only use you as an impact substitute?
I'm not too sure. I think that's probably a better question for the manager, and it's out of my control. I can only control sort of what I can control, and that's giving me best every day and trying to cause as many problems for him when it comes to selection as I possibly can. And when or if I'm needed, I'll be more than ready.
Alex and Henry.
Hi Anthony, you won the Under-21 Euros last summer, were player of the tournament. Are there similarities between that group and this one?
Yeah, I think even the whole setup is it's very similar. I feel the same as last year. Of course, it's a bit different. The competition's much higher. I mean, we haven't faced a bad nation yet. Every team you come up against is really good in their own right, and I think that's the main difference I've noticed.
Just more on you coming into the team. Have you spoken to the manager about what it is you potentially need to do to break into that starting 11?
No, I'm not that guy, to be honest. I just like to give me best and, like I said before, control the controllables. I think if I train to me very best of my ability and do the best I can every day, that's my way of sort of giving him a headache in terms of selection, and the rest that I can't control.
And Gareth has spoken about the reaction to the team and saying it's made an unusual environment. Have you been aware of it? Do you come off social media during tournaments, or is it not something that affects you?
No, to be honest, I don't really care about stuff like that. I actually think of it in a positive way. It's like, if people are, being negative, it's only because they expect a lot from you, which, is a positive thing. So if we want that to start, we just need to perform and give people what they want to see.
And Anthony, hi. Can I just throw a couple of Tim Grover sayings at you, because I know you're a big reader of winning. I mean, one of them was, winning requires all of you. It's over and over and over. Yesterday's irrelevant. It's all about tomorrow. How do you maintain that hunger?
Yeah, it's very true. And like I said before, we can only control so much. So, as I said in the past game, obviously we weren't where we want to be, but it's gone, it's in the past. And we've got to stay present as a team, stay focused on what's ahead of us, and that saying is exactly, you know, what it means, because we've got a lot coming up, we've got a lot to look forward to, and if we let sort of the past games affect us, then we're not going to perform to the best we can.
I mean, for you personally, he also talks about everything starts with doubt. I mean, you're obviously very confident the way you talk, but is there that doubt that is always there that drives you?
I think everyone naturally doubts themselves to begin with. I think the key is noticing that you do doubt yourself and then finding ways to switch it. I have zero doubts when it comes to playing football. I think it's more off the pitch and before you get on the pitch where the doubt creeps in before games. You know, the butterflies and the nerves. Anyone who tells you that doesn't happen is a liar. But it's the best players who can then be self-aware enough to know the feeling that and change it during the game.
And just a final one for me. Pressure is a privilege. It defines who you can become.
Yeah, I've said that a lot actually on this camp to the staff when I've spoke about sort of the media surrounding the team. I'm reading a book from Dan Carter at the minute, and that's actually a quote he uses in the book. So that's been on my mind a lot, and like I said before, pressure is a privilege because it means people are expecting things from you, which in return means they think you're good at what you do.
Hello, it's
Hello.
Miro Antoldeli, Sport Slovakia. In general, what do you think about Sunday's opponent, about Slovakia? And maybe what's your message to Martin Dubravka, your teammate? He just wrote me that you are a great guy and he looks forward to see you on Sunday.
Yeah, Dubravka's a top guy. I've obviously played with him for a year and a half now. He's been really important for Newcastle, and he's, again, top guy, top goalkeeper. I hope he loses in a game. But Slovakia are a good team, you know, very organised, a lot of threats on the counter-attack. They have some direct players and some very experienced players at this level as well. So it'll be a really difficult game. And, you know, we're preparing for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Faye, and then across the chat bit.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
On Martin Dubravka, actually, did you speak to him before the tournament, and did he give you any insight into what the expectations were for Slovakia and what they were trying to achieve?
No, we didn't speak too much. We spoke more about the tournament in general and, you know, the excitement of it, but not too much about our two individual teams. But, you know, I think they've done so good in the tournament so far. The group was really difficult. I think it was a lot more difficult than it actually looked on paper. So they've done really well, and, you know, they're in a good place.
And when we spoke last week, you said you were chomping at the bit to get on. You got a taste of it the other night. How much more has it made you want it?
Yeah, I don't think I needed any opportunity to make me want it even more. I'll always be ready. Like I said, I can only control so much, and that's everything I do every day. And I try and push the lads who are playing as best as I can when I train, and then when I get on, I'm trying to stay on. I'm not trying to come off. And the next match, I'm playing to basically start the next game. That's my mindset.
And you talked about your direct style. How much does that help, particularly playing against the teams that do play with such a low block?
Yeah, I think it does, because it brings a sense of like unpredictability. I win a lot of fouls and stuff, and it can put teams on the back foot, and that's just the way I play football. That works for me. That's the way I feel best playing. And again, like I said before, I know how hard I am to play against. I can feel it. I know people don't like playing against me, so it's worked for me, and I'm going to carry on doing it.
Thanks, Faye. Chat bit, Brock.
Hi. Obviously, you've been training with the lads for a few weeks now, but you've got, an hour or so against Iceland and then a few minutes against Slovenia. Do you feel up to speed?
Yeah, I'm very up to speed. Like I said, before the Iceland game, I had an ankle injury, which kept me out for the last week or two of the season. But I had some time off for that to recover. In the Iceland game, I felt a bit rusty, a bit tired, but from then on, I felt great in training. I can say the past week or 2 weeks, I couldn't have done any more than what I've done in training. I feel like I'm in really good form. I'm training really well, and you know, I run a lot, training or a game, so I never really lose out on fitness.
Was the Slovenia game what you expected it would be like for you?
I don't think I expected anything. I'm just, you know, you turn up to a game and you sort of prepare for it. You want to go about your business. If you go in with expectations to win or lose, I think that can be your biggest downfall. I thought we controlled the game well, like I've said before, but just lacked a bit around the final third.
Obviously, this is your first time doing a senior international tournament. What have you learned from the whole process since you've been in Germany, on and off the pitch?
Just the same as in life really. Just stay level-headed, don't get too high, too low. Like I said before, with the pressure and things that come with this type of stage, it's not really real because you can change it in an instant. If we go and put a top performance in our next game, you know, everything changes, and that's a good thing about football.
Thanks, Jack. We'll go back to Jerry Lawson.
Hi, Anthony. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Just going back to the bike incident. At any point when you were flying through the air 10 feet, did you think, oh my God, what have I done?
The worst thing about it was, because I was on my phone, I actually didn't know I was falling off until I hit the floor. Because I was just focused on my phone. And like I said, went chin first. I think the moral of that story is we probably spend too much time on our phones these days. So the moral of the story is just enjoy the moments instead of going on your phone.
What did Gareth say when he saw your face?
Well, he laughed at first, just like everyone else did. I think it was a bit of a joke. It wasn't that serious, it's just a few scratches, so everyone was just sort of laughing at me and, laughing at me pain.
Can you tell us in seriousness, your pride, a message for the fans really, what was your pride when you first put on that England shirt? You're a very considered guy, obviously. What did it mean to you, and what will playing Tuesday night, should the occasion arise, Sunday night, mean to you?
It means everything to me. This is for me the pinnacle of football. To represent your country at a major tournament, it doesn't get much bigger for me. Especially us as a nation, the players we've got. You have to do so well to get to this point. But my mindset is like, I'm here now and I want to keep going. I want to establish myself in a team and be someone that the manager can't drop. So I'm not there yet, and I've still got like so much to do to get there.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I think that ends in the live section. Pierre? Yep, finish with Pierre in the live section and we'll move on.
Last Sunday, Harry Kane says that the criticism of Gary Lineker could potentially have an impact on the young player of the squad who are not used to this kind of environment. So as this is your first tournament, I was wondering, did the harsh criticism of Lineker have an impact on you or not?
No, not me personally. I mean, I can't speak for the other young players, but I can speak on their personalities, which I see very similar to mine. I think the young players we've got in the squad have got a fearlessness about them now. We don't really care about anything other than just performing and playing football. We performed at a high level all year, and that's why we're here. So I think if we start worrying about things like that, we're not going to do as well.
Okay, end the live section there. Now move on to a section of bargain until 10:30 p.m. UK time this evening. Craig Hope.
And how are we doing?
Good. You?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Going back to the bike. Now, you've been really lucky, haven't you? The last time I went over handlebars, I was 8, not 23, like you, but I broke my arm. You've been really lucky. You could have suffered serious damage, potentially.
Yeah, I could have, actually, with the speed I was going. And I was actually going down a hill, so I could have ended up anywhere. Funnily enough, I was on a golf course and managed to land on the only bit of gravel there was. So I was surrounded by grass and ended up landing on the gravel. So really lucky in some instances and unlucky in some others.
And on the football as well, just talk us inside your frustration, because guys at home, certain parts of the media have been screaming for you to come on. Were you screaming inside to get on? It took you the best part of 3 games to get there.
I'll always be like that. That's just the way I am. That's my mindset. I think frustration's probably the wrong word. It's more of a want. It's a want to play and want to perform on a big stage. And that just comes from my self-belief. I feel like I can impact any game in a positive way. So a lot of people have used frustration the past week or so about my minutes, but I think that's the wrong word.
Thanks, Craig. Andy Dunn.
Hi, Anthony. Just on that, you mentioned that self-belief there, and clearly it's a good thing. You're not short of self-belief. But has there been any stage in your career when you have doubted yourself? I mean, maybe early on when it didn't go off greatly at Newcastle. Has there been any time when you've doubted yourself that you're going to get to this sort of level?
Yeah, similar to what I said before, everyone doubts themselves. Everyone doubts themselves, before every training session, before every game. But it's noticing when you're doubting yourself and realising that, you're having a war in your head and it's not really real. You're good enough to do anything. There's been plenty of times during my career. I went on loan in Preston and didn't play a minute really. There's plenty of times at Everton I couldn't break through. Obviously, my start at Newcastle wasn't great, but that's the key part of any any good athlete really is that you're resilient and you can come back from things like that.
Okay, Dave.
Hi, Anthony. It feels like everyone's just waiting for this team to click, especially in an attacking sense. In your opinion, what needs to sort of spark that click, and how have you guys sort of worked? What have you discussed with that in mind?
It's difficult to say one thing really. I think a team just has to come together. It has to perform when the pressure's high, and now we're into the knockout stages, so there's no more next game we have to get, but now we really have to step it up and be the team we can be, and that's on us. We're the ones on the pitch, we're the ones who can make an impact and change things, so I think that as players you just got to take responsibility and accountability.
Do you feel that sort of do or die pressure can actually be harnessed in quite a good way?
Yeah, but that's good. That's what football's about. That's why you want to be in these games, because the pressure is the highest, and if you win these games, that's where that feeling is that we chase every day. So I think that's a positive.
Okay, Paul, and then Charlie.
Anthony, Ezri Konsa said yesterday that if you score, you might do a bike ride celebration. Is that something that you've... Is that true? Has he been egging you on to do that?
No, he just sprung that on me. I'll put them stabilisers next to the pitch, maybe. You can take credit for the celebration. I'll do it, though. I will do it. Definitely.
A celebration if
you
score. Yeah.
You got me word.
Yeah. And just on the sort of level of competition that's in the forward places, do you all sort of help each other out? How does that sort of competition work, that it doesn't tip over into anything sort of, I want him to fail because I could play? Can you talk a bit about the balance that maybe goes on there?
Well, the reality is we play a team sport, so I think if you think like that, you're not going to get too far. It's a team sport and everyone has a role within that. I have a different role at my club than I do here. Obviously, I played every game this year for Newcastle, but it's about knowing your role and trying to be the best you can possibly be in that role. So every day in training, I'm trying to be the very best I can be to, one, give the manager a headache, and two, push the lads in my positions. And that's making me better, whilst also making them better, because they've got to keep performing to stay in the team.
Charlie?
There's obviously been a huge debate at home over who could come in and who should come in, and you're obviously featuring quite highly on that. Does it feel a bit surreal that back home there's this big debate, get him playing, get him starting, when you think maybe 3 years ago at the last Euros, you obviously were much younger, but all of a sudden, a lot of people in the country on the phone-ins, on TV and radio, just talking about you. How does that feel?
Yeah, good. That's what I want. I think 6 months ago would have been crazy, because I think the opinion of me compared to now is very different. But I've worked hard to be in this position, and that's what I want. I want people to be calling for me, because, like I said before, that's all I'm doing in training. I'm giving me very best to cause headaches for selection, and that's all I can do. The rest is out of my control.
Finish with Malik.
Hi, can I just ask about Luke Shaw, who we've not seen any yet? How's he looking in training? Have you kind of come up directly against him and that kind of thing?
He's progressing really well, actually, especially in the past week or so. I think he's been involved in every session. He's a good lad. He's very professional, and there was never any doubt that he'd be fit at some point. It was just about making sure he was right. And I was injured at the start with him, so I've seen his rehab, and he'd done it all to a very high standard, and now we're seeing the results of that.
Okay, guys, we'll end it there. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys. No worries.